Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of LANCESCURV. I'm feeling very much alive and rejuvenated and a little bit of aggression. I don't know. I'm not taking shots or anything, but my testosterone level seems to be up a little bit, and it feels real good. We're going to go for a week of steamrolling and steamrolling forevermore, unless we get a little sentimental. I'm going to wait a little while for folks to come on in. And the topic today is navigating unemployment. Navigating unemployment. And the rest of it is right here on the bottom. 20 strategies to thrive in a failing economy. Let me tell you something. There's a couple things I want to play that I have to set up. And I'll let it slide. I'll play that later on a shorter clip. But there's some things that I've been getting that need to be shared because we're not getting the right news. You know, again, I spoke about TikTok last night. I spoke about why the United States hated it so much, why America hated it so much, because they can't control what goes out on that platform. Let's just be real. It's everybody who's on that platform. But speaking to black folks are on TikTok doing stupidness, but there are a lot who are telling it like it is. There are a lot who are telling it like it is. And let me tell you something. They're saying some real stuff, and they can't stop it. So I ran across several clips, again, that I did not have set up in my rush to get on here live. And yes, it's a rush because, you know, I go live and here at this particular time of the day, for me, when the sun is still up. Remember, I'm 4 hours ahead of the East Coast of the United States. So therefore, it's like, okay. When it's dark for you, it's darker for me. When it's 6 o'clock for you over there, it's 10 o'clock for me, and I usually hit the sack 8:30, and I'm up from 4 o'clock in the morning. A very healthy thing to do, but I'm so glad about that, and I'm so happy about that because I was always a night bird, and it was because of the atmosphere, how it affected me in the bigger cities that I lived in. It's not natural, but let me just tell you though, we have some comments here. Let me see. Raw Reality Giant Gain, Indigo King. Wow. The dynamic trio, right? Powerful, powerful. Now, as you well know, with the power glitches, I'm going to come back on my phone, but I got to swing this one like this. I got to swing this at this time. And I want to expand. And, you know, there's a lot of things that I'm doing, but I'm going to make time now because I'm over a big hump. I got something accomplished really big, and now I'm ready to put it down. The time is balanced out now, so we can do these shows like this several times a day, all day, every day. That's what we're going to do, regardless. No matter what, it ain't going to stop us. But Mrs. SCURV and I were speaking earlier, and she was speaking on how many of us, and again, let's not let ignorance get in here and make people make stupid comments. Let me clarify before I say what I say. We know that the majority of welfare recipients, right? Oh, great. Oh, yeah, chopping and growing some blue oyster mushrooms. Okay, good. That's a good thing, Indigo King. That's going to bring a lot of goodness to you. Trust me. But we know that the majority of welfare recipients are white farmers in the United States who receive welfare. White, Caucasian farmers. But these people love to snicker. And because you see a concentration of us in the inner cities, when you pull out the camera, it's like, oh man, look over there, the slums, the projects. Oh my God, all of them over there on welfare, because it looks that way. You're getting a tight shot of a small part of the black community, but they make it appear that we're the majority receiving welfare and that all black people receive welfare. We know that's a lie. And I'm saying that's a lie. So now let me proceed to say what I want to say. For those who are on welfare and not really needing it, for those who are on welfare and not really needing it. We're talking about black people who are on welfare, who don't really need it, who are playing the system. Now, I'm not mad that you're playing the system. What I'm concerned about is what it's doing to you. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that welfare spelled backwards is farewell. Farewell to your freedom, farewell to your drive, farewell to your independence, your entrepreneurial spirit. Farewell to that, because you're getting that check and it makes you complacent for those who don't need it. And again, I'm not saying all black people receive welfare. Please get that in your head. I'm not saying that anybody like that here, but for those who want to, yeah, I'm going to say something. And I'm going to let this comment section stay open on the video. I've been doing that sometime for other reasons to go into the blog. But I would appreciate to go into the blog, because when you leave a comment here on YouTube, it might become altered or removed. Chance Rogers, we scurving them today. I'm going to come up with some new shirts and different things within the next few days. I'm very happy for a lot of things, new things coming. Turn it over a new leaf. We're going to kick evil in their ass. Excuse my French. And I really mean that. But for those who receive welfare, it is destroying our spirit. And we know now in the concentrated inner cities, there are other things going on. It doesn't mean all black people, but too many. And generation after generation of those who receive it and get into that mindset and get into that lifestyle, it has destroyed us. Yeah, we can be 2-bit hustlers and feel like we're getting over, but we're made to be greater than that. And it's sad, because it's robbed us of the great and mighty spirit that we have. Yes, Tracy J in the house. Caught alive. Like we caught some fish. I caught a fish. I caught alive. Yes, it's live. Make no mistake about it. So it's a sad thing. Yes, raw reality. They use welfare to break up the black family. Yes, indeed. That's right. And the illusion that we all are on welfare when, you know, the majority are Caucasians. Now, is somebody going to say that this is hate speech? How can facts be hate speech? Right? But the thing is, what I was going to play, and I'll play it. I'm going to do another little video later on, and I'll play those clips in there. But basically, it was this woman who was speaking on all of the retail establishments and restaurants and businesses that are closing up shops and stores by the hundreds, some by the thousands. And this is what I'm saying, is that we're not hearing this. But they want to say, well, for this quarter, the economy has gotten better and it's on the upswing. So which one is it? Because, you know, they can skew numbers any way to make certain things look a certain way. Tracy J, you know that. We've spoken about that, right? Yeah, exactly. Most black, we got to put this up. Yeah, most blacks don't even qualify to receive welfare. I see people get denied all the time for dumb reasons. You might have an old jalopy car, and because you have the car, and it may be valued at a certain amount, which is not a whole lot to change your pocket, but it's just something to get around, you get turned down because you have this old vehicle. Like, they want you really down and out. They want you out of it. They want you, even when you get it, you on the curb. And I don't understand it. But other people get it. And there are a lot of people who pass you by in the morning time, going to work, dressed up nice, who don't look like you, who are receiving more than what you have ever applied for, if you are one to have applied for it and denied it or got it. They get more. How is that? I don't understand it. See, let me put up this comment here too. They always want to talk about black people being on welfare, but do not want to talk about all those corporations that are getting corporate welfare. Exactly, raw reality. It's the truth. So what I want to do is go down a list of points that I jotted down just to help some people who might be in a funk right now. Because you see, they're not reporting the news right. And a lot of us are doing okay, but then there's a lot of us that are not. And with these corporations, with this welfare system, and anywhere with a food bank, with a clothing drive, we get the worst end of it. Even then, they don't want to see us coming. You see? And I think that's sad. Because you see, when you lose a job, and you look, anybody who even has a job, I'm not preaching like I know everything, but you got to act or think in your mind like you don't have, because any minute can come by and you can lose it. I know some feel they have more job security in certain things in seniority, but you never know what can happen. Even me, to receive a retirement check that's not $1 million, I'm still pinching pennies. But I want to be able to live without that. That's the key. To bring down your overhead, to be able to live without depending on that. And when you get that, live lean. because they're always going to come up with little ways, concoctions and ways to have us on the short end of the stick. Don't trust the system. And like I always say, yeah, I'm over here in West Africa. If reparations are paid out, I'm going to have my hand out for it because I deserve it through my bloodline and you deserve it too. But I'm not waiting on it. I am my own welfare. I am my own reparations. But if it comes to me, I'm going to get it. And I'm going to use it in the proper way. But too many of us, we're spending stupid. I'm sorry to come so strong. I'm not saying this to anybody here. Sister Gifty in the house. Yes. Yes, but we're spending stupid on things that are not important. You know, I don't want to call it the hood, but I'm going to call it the hood because I'm not using it as derogatory. It's just verbal shorthand. So many of us in the so-called hoods with these apartments in the hood, you go in those apartments, you got the biggest flat screen TV, you got the best furniture, you got every amenity that you don't even think you're in the hood. A lot of these apartments are so packed out with, I wouldn't say luxury items, but just larger than life stuff that you wouldn't expect. You can't even hardly walk past that bad boy. Look at the coffee table, look at the couch, look at the kitchen, look at the bedroom. I've seen some bedrooms in my life. Don't keep your mind up the gutter. Yeah, it can go there, but keep your eye out of the gutter. I've seen some bedrooms in my life where you should see the dressers and the big beds, and all you can do is turn sideways and squeeze between the dresser and the bed. I'm like, wait a second. Wait a second. You getting help. You're getting welfare. I'm not going to say how do you get this stuff because there's all kind of hustles out there, but where is your mind? Where is your mind? Why are we spending what is handed out on that? Yeah, we got little side hustles. Every neighborhood, every hood got the candy lady. Every neighborhood got the little weed dude and little, some women are selling a little thing late at night after midnight. We understand that. They got the little couple of boyfriends. You go in and tell the kids that's your uncle. Mommy, how many uncles do I have? There's 7 uncles last week came by and locked the door. And you said you was in there exercising. How come you exercise and they're all married? I mean, they all look different too. And they be calling me different names because they forget. But why do we spend so foolishly? I'm not saying that we have to be tight 24/7, but think. Because back in 2008, when everything crashed and we had people buying these big SUVs that they couldn't afford, I'm not against anyone who purchases something that they can afford. That's nice, because if you worked hard for it and you desire it, I have no problem with that. The issue that I have is some of us who are trying to keep up with the Joneses, who are trying to keep up with the Silversteins and the Goldbergs. We have no investments. We have no cushion. How many of us would be on the curb, right? How many paychecks away are we from the curb? 6 months, 2 years, 2 weeks, next week? Something can happen with our health and we have to be in the hospital and may not have the best coverage. We may have some coverage. We may not have the best coverage. We might not have any coverage. We don't think about those things. And just like the lady said on TikTok, I'm going to play that later on in another show later on. I'm going to do a specialized little thing, a little rant. She said, do now what you need to do now so when you get older, you're not in a bad situation, because I think this lady is like near 70, maybe 70. And she was telling it. She says a lot of her friends don't think that when you get a Social Security check and or a retirement check, that's all said and done dandy, because a lot of her friends are still had good jobs and they're still struggling now. Do what you need to do now, especially with this thing being on the brink. And I'm not fear-mongering. This world, the way it is, and the system, the way it is, especially in America, is ready to collapse. But it's like a long collapse. You know, when you see a tree and it gets chopped and you say, timber, some of them fall fast. Some of them stand up and you see it barely moving, and then all of a sudden it's like boom. And all of these CEOs resigning and stepping down, all of these businesses closing up. It's not fear-mongering, it's facts, but they're not telling you anything. It's like, say, a child who maybe the mother or father passed away, and we're not going to tell the child for a couple of days because we don't want to. I can understand that, because they can't handle losing a parent right away. And when you do, you have to break it to them softly, in a way that they'll understand, and hug them and comfort them and be there for them. But when you look at America and the so-called mainstream media, they are holding back the impending death of the American economy. They're holding back the information. They're not telling you to get ready. They're not telling you to pull back. They're encouraging you now. Every other week, and sometimes every week. My dear sister Sweetberry has sent me a different visuals, different places where they have Black Friday sales. Black Friday sales in April? Black Friday sales in March? February? I thought this was like once a year. Now it's Black Friday somewhere every weekend. Why are they rushing this? You know, when you're with a bunch of people and you're on a bus ride, when you're a child and you're going somewhere to the amusement park or to the botanical garden or to the zoo, and you all stop somewhere off the highway and get something to eat, and you taking your time and you realize that the teacher's getting up. It's like you got 2 more minutes, but you got about 5 more minutes worth of food in your plate. And you, because you was talking, you was running your mouth. You weren't paying attention to the time. Now you got 2 more bites left. You walking with the plate, the paper plate, and you get them 2 bites in as you're walking out and you dump it in the garbage can. Do you want to be not prepared this way financially? It's just smart moves. It doesn't mean you have to have $1 million, because I know several millionaires personally that, like they say, more money, more problems. They have more overhead, more spending, and they spend lots of money because it feels like a lot of money. And you think not? Come on, y'all. You know, and I'm not saying this now. Hopefully we've matured beyond this point. But you get that tax return check. I don't know what it is. It might be $2,000. It might be $8,000 if you got kids. Or I don't know. But don't you feel, especially when you were younger, don't you feel that when you got that tax return check, you can buy out the whole boulevard? You window shop. Yeah, I can get that. I can afford. Yeah, you can afford everything. It makes you feel so mighty. You know? Like you can just, it's a never-ending, bottomless bank account that will never spend out. Or that check that you put in the bank. You go ahead and start nipping away. And you're not even watching it. I'm not saying now, but some of us have been that way. We had to learn the hard way. Say you had about $4,000, right? It's never going to be exact, but let's just say it's $4,000. And you go out for the weekend and you buying up everybody. Come on, let's go to the restaurant. I got you. No problem. I got it. I got you. I got you. Feels good to do that. You with somebody riding in their car, and, oh man, you know, you see their gas low. You got gas, man? Yeah. Struggle till next week. Man, pull it over. I got you. I mean, even nice things, not even just selfish things. And then don't go to the mall by yourself or with other people. You start busting. Look, if you can afford that and it's out of your heart, fine. But just before you got that check, you were complaining about the bills and being broke. You don't put anything aside. You want to go out now. Diamond in the back, sun rooftop, dig in the scene with the gangster lean. Ooh. But guess what? Overdraft, ain't got no money, I'm broke. What you gonna say? Ooh. Charles Wilson, welcome on in. Yes, it's good to be here with everybody. We're gonna keep on steamrolling. But don't depend on the mainstream media. They ain't gonna tell you nothing. They don't have to tell you anything. They got their own way. And they got platforms out here where they do share little things, and they had the little message boards and little secretive things. But I tell you one thing, if you don't have X account, I'm not all lovey-dovey with Elon Musk, by no means, an alien, right? But get you an X account if you don't have one. It's not about him. It's about the people you may follow in the news that you'll get, that other people on the ground where they are will share it and put video up directly. And you'll know what's going on in the world. Say it's 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon and you don't get home and 5, 6 o'clock news come on. You might find out then, but you want to find out what's going on right now. Because too many of us think that what goes on in other countries, that's just the other country. If something jumps off in other countries, it can affect you in America or wherever you are. There are things that can happen in America that can affect me here in Ghana. Don't think I'm free. And I know I'm not free. I'm a little freer. I have a little more time before the tsunami comes over this way. But I'm not completely free. I'm concerned about my reality. I'm concerned about the reality of those in America, my family, my friends, my inner circle here. I'm concerned. I'm not some slave that got away out the system. It's free now. You got to find your way up north. Maybe Harriet Tubman will come and find you. No, this planet ain't that big. It's big. No, there's no way I'm going to swim across. Like Alexander O'Neill said, what's missing? He said it'll swim across the ocean. Look, I put my knees in the ocean. I'm ready to get back on dry land. I don't play that. I don't even like flying over the ocean. So that's a whole different story. But we have to be responsible for ourselves and don't wait until it's too late. Huh? Oh yeah, let me just say, Elon Musk, his Starlink is coming to Ghana. I'm gonna steamroll the internet when that comes. Because like I said before, the internet here is like filling up a tank of gas. You drive and it goes down, you gotta top it off. And I use a lot of internet. But when I get that Starlink, it's unlimited, fast speeds. I'm an OD on shows. Trust me, I'm an OD on shows. And I'm gonna be on different platforms that can't try to shut me up. I'm going out blazing. Not flaming, that's something else. I'm not down with the rainbow. I'm talking about blazing. Let's get into these points and let me just throw these things out, because there's certain things we need to keep in our mind so we don't panic when we lose our job. And there are a lot of people out there that, I don't know, they just think, well, the job, they're going to take care of my taxes and they're going to pay me. And they don't even look at the paycheck. They just want to make sure it's the same money that they had from 2 weeks before or one before or the month before. And they're good. And whatever they say as far as the taxes and all, what they took out, they're good. And look at Donald Trump, all the money he has, and he ain't paying no taxes. We better know how to play the game. Get an LLC and have some write-offs and do it that way and get back what we deserve, because they're ripping us off big time. Not even a little bit, but big time. And they're not going to tell us, right? Number one, assess your financial situation. Take stock of your finances, including savings, expenses, and debt obligations. Understanding your financial standing is crucial for making informed decisions. I know people personally that they're all right with their bank account as long as it's not in the negative. That's when they start panicking. Oh, it's negative 35. I say, what they take out? You should know what's coming out. It shouldn't be like a game of billiards where you get hit one way and 3 other balls can get hit and get knocked in the holes. This is not gambling. You have to know what's in and out and the fees and what they try. Let me tell you something. Some of these banks out here in Ghana, I'm not going to say which ones, but if you don't pay attention to your bank account, they're going to come up with all kind of fees. And if you have a couple of $100 in there, maybe in one account, or CDs actually, but I'm still American. I'm going to say dollars, but you have a couple of 100, or which would translate to thousands of CDs. You might go back there and there's nothing in there. You got crooks out here too. And if you're not paying attention to the stuff that you're doing and don't question it, then guess what? Somebody's going to get over, because there's always that little charge. You ever notice that? Some little charge. Well, we'll give you free magazines, 20 free magazines a month for 9 months. And just sign here that, $2.50 every month will come out after 9 months, and you forget all about it. You get in the magazines and you forgot about it. And something happened in your account and you have only $2 in there, but they take the $2.50 out and it ends up being whatever your charge is for overdraft, 35, 25, whatever it is, right? because you weren't aware of that, to anticipate, even to shift things around. Understand your every penny. You get up in the morning sometime or the night, stay up all night working, and you don't want to, I don't feel like going to work. But the thing you're going to work for, money, hopefully it's not your God, but the money you need to watch like a hawk, because these other banks and financial institutions, they're sitting there like a pedophile in a daycare, waiting to make their move when the parent comes there late. Oh, Sheila, Mrs. Johnson's not coming. She's going to be coming late. We're going to get one of the parents here to take them home. I'll take them home because they're watching, scheming. Create a budget. Develop a realistic budget that prioritizes essential expenses such as housing, food, and utilities. Cut down on non-essential spending to stretch your resources further. Cut down. And sometimes and oftentimes you're going to have to cut out. It makes no sense. It's a nice feeling to know that you're gaining. Why do we make the money and push it right on out? And a lot of us don't feel happy until we've exhausted anything extra, and now we're broke. Functionally broke. Empty. Like Al Pacino might say, the only thing I want to empty is balls, right? Let's not go there. Explore government assistance programs. Research and apply for unemployment benefits, food assistance, healthcare subsidies, and other available resources to alleviate financial strain temporarily. Temporarily. Look into these things now. Don't look into it when you don't have another check coming in and no savings. Look into it now. Look into the food banks. Look into all of these things that are available, if they're available, because you know what? These migrants are going to get it. So don't turn your nose up too far. They're going to get the car money, the apartment money. They're going to get everything, and they're going to give them all of that too, which should be your right. As a person who comes from a bloodline of building this country and who's paid your taxes. They didn't pay no damn taxes. They just came right on in. Coming into your house, making you feel like you the nigger on the couch that's going to be there for a week. Unwelcome in your own place. And you built the place, paid for the place. They talking about, oh, you should take some of them in. Take them in for what? If you can't take some of your own family, your own blood family in because you don't get along, how you going to take care of one of these migrants? You don't know what jail cell they came out of. You don't know what kind of pedophiliac, whatever, I'm jacking the words up. But I'm saying, you don't know what you're taking in. We suggest that you take them in. They might chop you up one night. It's crazy. And Tracy J is dropping some bombs here. Leave regular savings accounts alone. Open a high yield savings account. Money that don't make money is dead money. And Sister Gifty said, how is the economy in Ghana in general? Oh man, the economy in Ghana, for the people who live in Ghana, for the common folks that are not wealthy and affluent, it is suffering. It is suffering. I'm going to tell you the truth. Am I suffering the fate of this economy? No, because I get American dollars in my check. And whatever the exchange rate is, I get it. See? And I've said this before, and I don't know how to break it down exactly. Tracy J, you know a lot about these things. If you want to suggest something in the chat room or even come on in, just let me know. But say, for example, now, the last time I checked, $1 American brings 13.75 CDs. 13.75 CDs. Okay, here we go. And it looks like we're going to have a financial kind of conversation, which I'm just saying basic things because that's what I know. You know what I mean? So thank you, Nicole, for even stating this out. This is what I want. We're going to have fun on this show, on this platform, but I want to talk about the serious things too. Ahead of time, you see? But $1 American brings you 13.75 CDs. So for us, If I bring $1 into the country, I get 13.75 CDs. If the CD goes up to $1 American dollar for 20, I get 20. So mine expands and contracts. I don't feel it. Now that's until the American economy jacks up. But for now, I'm good. But what about the person who lives here and the value of the CD goes up and down? And their money they make is fixed. I'm going to say it in an American way as far as the dollar. So let's imagine I'm talking about the Ghanaian economy, and I'm not one who is the best person to speak about figures and numbers. I'm going to try to explain it the best way I can. Michael George, welcome on in. Yes. Say you make $1,000, and this was in Ghana. Say you make $1,000 a week. Let's just say $1,000 a week. And the value of those $1,000 now, according to the American dollar, let's just say CDs. You make 1,000 CDs a week, and it's an American dollar, right? When the value of the CD drops and goes to double, you're actually making half, and you can't do a damn thing about it. An American dollar will inflate, and you'll get double the amount of CDs. But if you make a certain amount of money and that's your paycheck, when the value diminishes by half or a third, that's what you get. So imagine now, let's just transfer this over. Imagine you make $1,000 a week, but then the value of the dollar drops half. But it still says on your check $1,000, but the value is really 500. The buying power is really just 500. I think that would be a cause to be upset. You see? Say it goes down 25%, and it says now, because it's still $1,000, but the value and purchasing power goes down to 25%, so it still looks good on paper. But now it's really the buying power of $250. And you can't go anywhere. They're giving you your $1,000, but it don't buy diddly squat. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to pop these comments up here. I'm just going to keep on talking. You're right, Charles. The fiat fake money is falling apart. That's why everything is falling apart and sinking. Nicole, most companies make you participate. I now see that most 401ks are a scam. You never get the value they say you get. Plus, by the time you retire, the spending power is reduced so much. That's what it is. So this is why America doesn't like the African nations that are backing their currency with gold. Not all, but some. And so to me, they're going to try to pick a fight with those who are doing that. Because guess where the gold is? You know, Ghana used to be called the Gold Coast. There's certain places here when I'm walking, I'm not saying I see gold on the ground like that, like somebody's watch or somebody's necklace. That has to be mined. But I'll see certain rocks and wait a second, that looks kind of glittery. And you look at it, little specks of gold. Don't let me dig in my backyard and find me a big chunk. It can happen. It's here. But they have so many people looking to go to America because you can make the money that they can manipulate. Over here, it's bad for the people. And when you don't have skills, when you don't have something you can do, it's even worse. Because you have people from the country who get fooled and saying, I want to go to Accra. I want to go to Kumasi. Kumasi is the second largest city in Ghana. Accra is the largest and looked at as the money place. Yeah, you got a lot of money flow here. You got a lot of poor people here. A lot of poor people here. You can't even call it class. It's like, oh, middle class. It's not comparable. It's not comparable. Lower class in America might be upper middle class over here. I can't say that for sure. I'm just trying to say that it's like a slider. It's different. And you get a lot of money here too. I go to certain parts of this place. Lamborghinis, drop top Bentleys, all kind of Benzes. Benzes are common here. I mean, but you do see money. And you don't have the banks where you can get a loan on credit to get a car or a home. I spoke about that before. You better come up with cash. So when you have a brand new car, you put some money down for that. The only way they give a little credit is to the government workers, and not like whatever you want type stuff. You know what I mean? It's like up to a certain thing will give you some help. But the rift, the gap between those who have and don't have, it's broad, because some people out here living good. Now, for me, the dollar stretches more in certain areas. In construction, which the prices of construction are going up, but the price of materials are going up. But you can build something out here that pretty much, look, I couldn't afford this house if I built this anywhere in America. The customization, we designed it ourselves, the size of it, there's no way. And right now, like, you know, I don't have no big money. I get my little something every month. I'm not putting out business that I shouldn't be putting out. Look, I'm out here. I'm not working nowhere. So it's got to be coming from somewhere, but everything is paid for. So that's my thing. It was also a financial move for me to come out here. It's almost like you in a slow lane and it ain't moving, but you peek over in the fast lane and say, man, them cars over there moving. And you jump over there and you move for a while. And sometimes it slows down. You got to jump back in the slow lane that starts to move later on. But you make a decision. But this put me ahead. When everything's completed, I'm good. And then I can do other things because I put myself ahead. So we have the sentimental. We have the thing about the diasporas coming home and return, you know, the year of return. Yes, that's fine. But so many people bought into that. And they went back to America, back to the UK with their tail between their legs because they thought it was all love. It's not all love. You're still on your own. You still got to think. You still got to make a plan, no matter where you are. There are times that things over here tight for me. You got a budget. You got to know. So it's not some place that you come as utopia and everything's free. And yeah, well, the mangoes are free. The melons are free if you grow them. But you got to take them and grow them. But anything they have in abundance here is really a lot less expensive. I bought this big bowl the other day, and on Instagram and sometimes on little short lives, I've shown this young lady. She's heavy and she's selling all this fruit. And I give her a hug and a kiss. Mrs. Scurv don't mind. I say, oh, this is my second wife right here. She says, I really want to find a husband from America. I'm like, oh man. But anyway, I went down there the other day and I was like, listen, the mangoes I've been getting, because, you know, in the city, and I know I'm way off topic, but I'm going to come back on. In the city and close to it, which this is not the city, but this is halfway I'm talking about, a place called CRITIC. And they have all these fruits and nice little resorts and stuff there. And they don't use fertilizer on their stuff. But a lot of places in Accra, and sometimes they do now, but in Accra, the fruit sucks that you buy. You got to go out a little further to get that good stuff, because now it's all about money. And these people get the fruit and they want to get it early. They want to pick it early, pick the mangoes early. Oh, it'll be ripe in a week. And they sell it in 3 days and it's not ripe yet. But it's a shelf life thing. They don't want to pick it as soon as it's ripe and all of a sudden it spoils, because this is not the GMO fruit that you get in America that they'll lie and say, oh yes, it's non-GMO. Well, how's it lasting so long? When I buy I can't buy all the mangoes that I want to get, and I'm going to stock it up for a week because we're not in season to bloom with what we have. Bananas, I've been eating bananas like crazy. Bananas just falling off and knocking me in the head. So things take time to cultivate. But in the meantime, so I bought this the bowl was like a foot across and maybe 8 inches deep and stacked all the way up, maybe a foot above in a V shape, like you stack them up, and you put the one on top. So I didn't want to buy all of that for 100 CDs. There had to be, let me see, there had to be about 20 mangoes in that bad boy for 100 CDs. Remember, 13.75 CDs is $1. So how many 13.75s go into 100 CDs? Let's just say it's 15. So we're saying for $6 and change, Because if you say 15, 15 times 6 is 90. Then you got the 10 left over. Let's just say 7. For $7, I got 20 mangoes. Why? Because mangoes grow in abundance here. And you don't have to go out too far to get mangoes now. Wow, then you're really paying the person for them picking it and getting it to you in one shot. You go in the wintertime to Whole Foods and buy you a mango. You go anywhere, forget Whole Foods. Go anywhere in the bigger cities where it's colder in the wintertime and tell me how much one mango is. Huh? $7 for about 20 mangoes. You'll pay $7 for 2 if you're that lucky. You see what I mean? But other things that are not common here, you're going to pay for. They don't order all the different brands and types of electronics here. They have some things here, but nobody really buys, or you don't get specialty things that I would use here. You have to order it. And when the stores order it, oh, you're going to pay the shipping charge. There's certain cameras that, like, if you get them in America, they're low price. You pay for it out here, you're paying double. You're paying double. And you can flinch up your face all you want. You're going to pay, or order it yourself and still pay the shipping fees. That's why anybody coming out to Ghana, let me know. There's things I want to bring on out here. I'll give you a little something for it because it'll be a whole lot cheaper to put it in your pocket. Because I get little wires, little connectors, little things that break, little things and little new things. That saves a whole lot. That's how they get you. You get a car that's imported from another country where they don't have, see, we don't realize, I'm not going to say we're lucky because of America, but we don't understand the advantages that we do have when we do have it. I think it's Louisville, Kentucky, where they manufacture the Toyota Camry. It's a Japanese car, but it's just as much of an American car as an American car. But that's what the big three didn't want you to understand, because they're employing American people in Louisville, Kentucky with the Camry plant, if they still have it there. Because years ago, I used to read Motor Trend and Car and Driver and all that stuff, and I used to be up on those things. I'm going to start hitting that on the internet. I'm not into cars, though. I'm into the business of it, like who sells where and who's sharing the same parts. You know, that's what I'm into. So I don't know. You lift the hood around me, I wouldn't even know where the radiator is. I'm lying. But if you get a car from Japan, you're going to pay them fees of bringing it over here. Yes, you are. Unless you have some kind of hookup with shipping or somebody's bringing something out here already, you got to be shrewd. But if you use your brains, I'm not going to say you're getting over, but you'll severely minimize and you can live well. Many, and I'm going to say this, I might hurt somebody's feelings who is from Ghana, but many of the Ghanaians that are here that may be complaining about the economy, a lot of them are not thinking. A lot of them are not using their brain to really research things to see how they can come up. A lot of them are here waiting for the white Jesus. And if the white Jesus don't come, the American black man who becomes the white Jesus. So folks look at me sometime. Oh, you know, Brony, oh, Brother Lance, I need to drive a cab. Why don't you buy a cab so I can drive it and I can give you a little bit of money and I can pay it off for the car and I can have it? Well, look, I don't even have a car right now. And I don't want one. And I'm going to be very honest. I don't care who knows. I'm waiting until I get Social Security next year if I get it. I'm going to get it if it's there. They going to pay. Make the government pay. I earn that. And when I get it, I'm probably going to drive it out once a week. I'm still going to jump on the vans. That car 20 years from now is still going to look brand new. I'm not dogging it out. And that's what vehicles also. We need to purchase a vehicle, whichever way you do it, new, which you know they say it depreciates so fast, whatever. If you get it new, maintain the heck out of it. It'll depreciate, but 5, 6, 7, 8 years is looking new, mechanically perfect, 12 years, you'll have to pay another. Treat every vehicle that you get like it's your last one. But the sad thing is we treat the vehicles that we have better than we do our own bodies. Got one liver, And we don't care about that. Well, a pair of kidneys, we don't care about that. We make sure to take care of that car as we should, but take care of yourself also, because we are our own best doctors. Let me go to the list again. Update your resume. Tailor your resume to highlight transferable skills and experiences relevant to different industries. Consider seeking professional assistance to optimize your resume. You know, I call it resume fog. It's like a panic when you know you have to go and you know, I got to update this thing. And, you know, we want to stretch the truth, but we really can't now because we got computers. You put your name there, they're going to Google you. So that's another thing too. Be careful on social media, what you do, what you say. Because even if they can't hold it against you legally, they can hold it against you personally. I'm not going to answer him back. LANCESCURV? Oh, no. Remember what he said back in 2017? Hell no. Remember what he said yesterday? Talk about, you know what I mean? So we have to understand that we're moving into a different realm when you come here, when you go to any other country, heck, even when you go to a different state. Look at how different California is from Mississippi. We're talking just financial, right? Well, Mississippi, I'm quite sure, and I've seen it before, you're not going to find jobs that pay California money. And again, you're not going to pay California rent in Mississippi. And I said Mississippi to make it extreme. But America, and I was telling somebody here, they think America is just one big place. Like everywhere in America is New York City. Everywhere, you know, oh, and I said, well, what about Florida? Well, you got palm tree. No, it's different. It's like a piece, or not a piece of chicken, but a whole chicken. The chicken breast is dry. The meat is dry. The chicken thigh is juicy. It's more fat. Even in the state of Florida by itself. People say, oh, I went to Florida. What part you went to? Oh, I went to Tallahassee. Well, you really didn't go to Florida. You went to Southern Georgia. When people say they went to Florida, either Orlando with the resorts and the attractions or the Miami area. That's what we mean when we went to, really, you enjoyed yourself? But you go up to Pensacola. The only exciting thing is that you might meet Roy Jones, the boxer. Other than that, what's up there? It's country. I'm not putting it down if you live there. Nice, peaceful places. But I know even in corrections up in the Panhandle, they kill inmates up in there and cover it up. The Klan is alive and well. Billy Bob, shoot. They're ruling strong up there. So it's all kind of things you have to think about. And so when Ghanaians ask me about America, I tell them the real deal. They look at me all stupid, like this is not what I wanted to hear. But I still want to come because I want to make the money. I say, yeah, tell me where you live, and they're going to take the money. Half of what you make, hopefully, if not a little more, is going to go to rent, and you get a mortgage. If you can get one, you ain't going to get one right away. These white folks come from the UK and come out here and treat you all nice. Because half the husbands, they want to find a little something. They want to try something a little darker, if you know what I mean. And sometimes want to try something a little darker. I'm talking about the men now. They got the same thing between their legs that they got. There's a lot of that going on. Google Labadi Beach. You might find some information on there. You might. Everything's going on over here too now. And don't them women, the white little Caucasian women, shoot. Hubby, we're gonna leave you home. It's just the girls going out tonight. There'll be shish kebab with some black meat. That's all I'll say. Let's keep it decent. Network strategically. Leverage professional networks, online programs, and community resources to connect with potential employers, mentors, and support groups. Attend job fairs, workshops, and networking events to expand your opportunities. Heck, I live like that. Especially in America. I'm not really doing that kind of thing now, but not that you're using anybody, but when you know people, it's a lot easier when you network. Don't wait to the last minute to go, I got to go online and I got to go to this job fair. You don't even have to go to a job fair. If you know people and you find out what industry they're in, what job they do, how is the job that you do? What skills do you need? What schooling do I need? I may not have to go to college. It may be a certification that I need. Find out long before you need that. Exchange numbers, and it's not about what you can get from them. Maybe you can offer them a lead or help them out. This is how we need to work together, but black people don't do it. I got mine and you got to get yours. How sick. And we're all on the boat that could potentially sink. And some of us may be closer to the part that's going to dip into the water. And some, if you feel a little more superior, your paychecks will run out too. I'm not a doomsayer. I have to talk this way because somebody needs to hear it. Anyone who's in the chat room that I know right now can come here and say the same words. Y'all got sense. I'm preaching to the choir. Sweet D, how are you, sister? You're caught alive. And Riri, I'm seeing you. I was looking out the window. It's sunny. I'm used to like when it's dark and I'm doing shows. I'm like, man, the birds are tweeting and whatever. And if I can catch the sun, I'll do some video on Cat Chat. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I want to start doing those at my rooftop perspective and whatnot, and I can salvage a lot of those. I'm going to wait for Starlink to come where I can download a lot of the old content from different sources instead of doing it the slow way. So I'm relieved about that. Come on, Starlink. Come on, Star. I think I'm going to be the first one to get it. Upskill and retrain. Identify skill gaps in your current skill set and pursue training programs, online courses, and certifications to enhance your employability in high demand fields. You don't get prepared in 2 days or 2 weeks. Oh man, I just lost my job. I gotta bump up my skills. You should have been doing it. You should have been asking around. Ask people who have jobs. What is it like? Oh, they're laying people off. And you find, okay, you know that then. It may be something that you don't want to do, but it puts you in the door. And again, I'm not ignoring being an entrepreneur, but you got to have a base. But it may be something that you have to get in a company or whatever, and it's not what you really want to do, but you're going to get in there, get that name on that check. And then from within, if they hire from within, and they're not too racist, you might have a shot better than somebody who's from the outside. You see? Consider freelancing or gig work. Explore freelance opportunities. Why do I like that name so much? Freelance, right? Temporary gigs or part-time work to generate income while searching for a full-time job. Websites like Upwork, Fiverr, and TaskRabbit offer platforms to find freelance gigs. You never know when you'll get that email or that call. Start a side business. Monetize your hobbies, talents, and expertise by starting a small business or offering freelance services. Launching an online store, tutoring, or consulting can provide additional income streams. I'm not going to put anybody's name out there, but there's a lawyer that I know that has many, many issues. We cool though. I was trying to tell her, with your credentials, we know state to state the laws are a little different, but you can still do consultation in your state, in your city, and you can do a general consultation when it's out of state with somebody. If they ask you a question because you have knowledge of the law and how they speak and how they talk and the terms, you can research another state if they have concerns about that and service the whole country. You're already a lawyer. You're halfway there. If you're a person who is a chef in a restaurant where they had cooked the best steaks, you mean if you had to lose that job and go to a place where they specialize in chicken, you're dumbfounded? No, it's just a slight shift. But a lot of times we defeat ourselves before we even get into things. Listen, my buddy Star from the Star Report, way back years ago, I couldn't believe it. I used to watch him every single day when he was on Vlad TV. That was years ago. I'd watch it every day. Well, he was starting to set up his own YouTube channel. I didn't know he knew me. He sent me an email. Hey, Lance, I love your work. Can I use some of your videos on my channel just to get it started? I said, sure. I was like, this can't be him. It was. So he's very, very, very busy, but he thinks highly of me. You know, he's a little out there sometimes with the jokes, but that's his persona, okay? But he has a respect because he knows that I grind with this thing really on my own. Not to discount Mrs. Scurv. I'm just saying that, you know, the food and everything else. And, you know, she doesn't know the technical stuff, but she's there to, look, If she wasn't there, I'd be doing less. So in a relationship, as it developed, and he would say, hey, who does your graphics? I say, I do. He said, you do the graphics too? He said, man, you do everything. I said, sure. He says, listen, I need some help with some basic things. How much do you want to charge? I said, for you, listen, this is what we're going to do. Now, look, I saw the opportunity. He has such a reach. You know, he had his problems in the industry, was blackballed a little bit, but he's the man. So I said, listen, I'm doing all your graphics for free. But when anybody comes to you to say who did it, you point them my way. And we made a deal. And he put it out there. And I was trying to figure out, because I never did it before. Like, I did the graphics before, and I'm better now. But how much do you think I should charge? He says, well, you know, right now it's like a budget, a good one is like $50. I said, listen, I'll charge 40. Bring me the business. Man, I got flooded with just from me thinking. I didn't use him when he asked me. Sometimes he was asking me for stuff every day, and I do it because I got my foot in the door. Now, when I'm ready, I'm going to start doing that again. I'm going to go right back to him and advertise on the show, because he has now, because there are other people that do banners for him now. But I got so busy because I was working, I couldn't keep up. After a while, I couldn't even keep up with what I was earning on my own, because it ebbed and it flowed. You might wake up, oh, damn, I got 10 banners to do today, but I got to go to work. Couldn't do it. It's like, listen, how much time do you have before you need it? You know what I mean? So it flooded me, but I see the potential. I can do, just if I had steady income that way and advertise and just did that. I'm not doing shows anymore, nothing. I'm just doing banners. I'd make a lot of money, but I can't do that. I built a platform. Whether YouTube wants to take it away or not, I built the name. They can't take away the name. That's why we're here. You see what I mean? And that's how you do it. There's an opportunity in everything. I play this little simple game. I don't play video games, but I've downloaded one on my phone. What is it called? Block Blast? You know, where you have little gaps and it's like a square thing, different color shapes you have to fit in. And when you get one line across, it disappears and eventually it overtakes you. But what I noticed about Block Blast, wait, is it Block Blast? Let me, okay, what is this game here? Okay, Hungry Studio. Block Blast, that's what, man, I love it. I love Block Blast, right? When they give you a new board that has little gaps and stuff, and then they have the 3 shapes on the bottom, there's always different blocks shaped like a L, shaped like this, shaped like that, or just one big square with 9. You can always beat the game because they always give you the blocks that will fit in to help you clear out the board. But if you don't think and place it randomly, you're not going to last long. Every challenge, because I hate to say problem, and I always say this, every challenge has a solution. You just might not know it. And you have to be strategic when you take a risk. Because like I say in the sport of boxing, every time you throw a left jab out, right? You throw a left jab out, that side of your body is open to receive something. So when you throw a jab out and you hit the opponent, pull it back to keep that side of your face and that side of your body protected. So you can't get lackadaisical when you do get to a certain point of being comfortable. Really, being comfortable is the enemy. Have a partial comfort zone. I'm not saying don't enjoy it. I'm not saying I'm not going to sleep tonight. I'm going to sit up and put out resumes. I got a good job. But no, enjoy it. But always be a little hungry. Always be like that wolf that is always looking at potential meals. The wolf ain't dumb. He got some other animal to eat and he's full. So you think he's going to wait until he's hungry? He's going to bite that thing up and put it to the side. And we have to think that way. Like they say, save for a rainy day, not just a rainy day. Save and try to generate money for when you don't have. There are things creatively that I want to do here. You know, I love cutting wood, making things. Mrs. Scurv said, I want a nice bird bath. I got to learn how these guys use the finishing on the wood that the rain just can't mess it up. They make these big tabletops and all beautiful work, not too far from here, several guys. And once I learned that, Just gonna go there and hang out and talk with them. Once I learn that, I'm gonna start doing some really extravagant, not some little thing you can get from Home Depot. Something where it's like, yo, Lance, that's like a daggone mansion for a bird or a cat. You know what I mean? Like creative things. And why can't that take off? Why can't I do something like that and locally put it online, right? Why can't I do something like that? And everybody who comes up together who wants something, I'm not saying it's just that. What I'm saying is that, like you said earlier, your hobbies and your talents and your abilities, do it with love. Keep doing it. Don't say I'm starting out, I'm going to be so. Do a few of them. People say, oh, I like that. I want one like that. So you got to show and prove first. If I say I'm going to do a show tomorrow at a certain time, maybe the time might get thrown off. But pretty much if I say so, unless something comes up, you know it's going to be a banner. You know it's going to be something with bulleted points that I read off that I write. You know I'm going to freestyle it because this is not written. Some things here written, and you freestyle it when you have something on the inside. Something real, a real human vibration. Not some old robotic AI made video. Well, and they say the name all wrong. You know what I mean? Donald Trump. Muhammad Ali. They say it all wrong because it's not real. And some of these social media platforms are cracking down on that. Here's another one. Okay, no, I read that one already. I read that. Embrace remote work. With the rise of remote work opportunities, consider applying for remote work positions or freelancing roles that offer flexibility and autonomy. Let me tell you something. I'm sitting here, right? I know how much I'm going to get for the month, right? There's side things that I will do, you know, in social media, and they shut me down. So I'm not getting nothing from them. When I was getting, I wasn't even getting it like I was way back for a couple months. But guess what? If somebody, let's just pick somebody in Germany. Hey, LANCESCURV, we've been following you for a long time. We need you for a couple of weeks because we're going to be hosting a podcast and you'd kind of fit in with the dynamics of what we want. And we need somebody who can do graphics. It's only 3 weeks. We're going to pay $8,000. What? I'm out of here. You paying for the hotel? You paying for my food? That's a big mistake. Don't pay for SCURV's food because that's going to be bigger than what you pay me. I'm out of here because I'm free. I'm not stuck to a job. And that's not some old nan and the nan type stuff. I'm 61 years old. Doesn't mean I can't work. I will work. Right now, if I was in America, I would work. I'd find something. I'm too smart not to earn. My main thing is earning. But if I have to work, I'll work. A couple hours, it's no problem. Just like I did when I worked driving the bus, working in the jail, doing side gigs into the night, and still knocked out 4-hour shows and 5-hour shows. It's not going to stop me from doing what I like to do. And get up before work and do another one. I got to keep my hands moving. You decide what you like to do to keep your hands moving and the value it is to the world. It may not be to someone that's within your walking distance. It may be somebody in a different country. You know, and this is what I don't like about Ghana. This is one thing I'm going to tell you. There's no reason why they can't allow PayPal to operate here. They don't let PayPal, people that live here cannot get a hold of PayPal to join to the bank accounts. So that way they can work remotely. They can be here and get international money, which would pay more than what you'd get here. There are a lot of people who have great talents here, right? They have great skill, but they can't. It's almost like, you know, and I have my stuff set up. All my stuff is set up in America. I have certain bank accounts out here, but they can't deny me that. When you're born and raised here and PayPal doesn't join with certain banks here, they need to change that. But it's almost like we don't want you to go above a certain whatever. And it's so crazy. So they talk about globalization. Globalize that for black people in Africa who have something to offer skill-wise. But they can get paid some of that American money, that UK money, that Dubai money. You see what I mean? So there's a lot of things choking us over here. Everybody else comes over here and takes over and makes the business and does well and takes it back to the country. But I will say, if we were unified, it wouldn't be a problem. That's a problem. Don't come to me talking like, hey, we know the system, how it's rigged against us. We know the history. For generations we gave and gave blood, sweat, and tears, our lives, and torture. But right now, we are doing to ourselves. We are. That's the first level. The bickering, the gossip, the people getting caught up in the feelings and whispering spirits and watchy and making up stuff and saying stuff. And I don't get no attention, so I go mess with him no more. And even when we have differences, put it aside for the betterment of the generations to come. You know what we can create? So this is more than just navigating unemployment. Because we're going to have to face that. Many of us will ride high and mighty separately. But many of us, unfortunately, are going to have to be side by side in unity, in unison, eating out the damn garbage can. And I think it's a damn shame. Everybody else is getting the benefit of our skills and our talents. Everybody else is getting the benefit of our pleasure, throwing us money so we can give up our bodies. We sell out. Let me tell you something. You think it's boring over here? You got some wild stuff going on over here. And these tourists that don't look like us are getting over. I ran across a page on Telegram, and I'm thinking, oh, this is something about Kenya. Because I have my eyes over on Kenya, I'm scoping it out. You know what I mean? Ain't gonna say nothing, but I'm scoping it out. And I'm like, what kind of mess is this? What is this? Orgies and parties and what kind of, I mean, I've seen all of that stuff, right? I've been around things. You all know my story. But it shocked me how decadent and out. I said, man, they're making this place just like America, just like the UK, just like where they are, those people. We're following through. Social media is the ultimate weapon, the ultimate bomb, the ultimate mind, F-U-C-K. You know what I'm trying to say. I don't want to say it. Seek career counseling. Consult with career counselors or coaches to gain insights into your strengths, interests, and career goals. They can provide guidance on job search strategies, interview techniques, and career planning. There's a lot of thought that goes into this. Preparing yourself, grooming yourself to be so much of a good candidate, not just to merely hold a job. Because when I worked in corrections didn't do nothing for me. I did something and I brought something to the job. Then even for the few weeks of shadowing, meaning that you're in uniform, but you're not officially certified, so there's things you can't do. The officers who were there for years, they let me flow and do. They didn't have to watch over me because I know life. I brought life experience to the job. I know how to talk to people. I know how to talk to people when they're angry at me, when they're threatening me, when they're crying around me, when we're telling jokes. Don't get too comfortable. Life experience. So groom yourself to be an asset so that when they see you, like my good friend, Mr. Hollingshead, who, when I first came down to Orlando, I didn't have a job. I was going for corrections. But I said, in the meantime, to keep my hands moving, let me go on down here, down International Drive to a very interesting place. And they had some security positions there. I didn't care about the stigma. Oh, you're a security guard. It didn't matter. I had just started doing stuff online. So I worked overnight in this open mall. I forgot the name of it. But many who have gone to Orlando down International Drive, you've been there. It's wide open. You're walking from the street all night long. Everything's not open. But when I went there for the interview, it was a 3-hour interview. Why? Because we talked for 15 minutes about the job. And when he saw I had the life experience, the personality, the bearing, he already knew. Very perceptive man. And for the next 2 hours and 45 minutes, we were talking like we knew each other for all our lives. It got to the point where I was telling jokes. We were hitting there. I mean, we got decadent. We were talking about different types of farts. And it's like, oh, by the way, you know you have the job. I'm like, I know. We get along together fine. But he knew I was going to go into corrections. So he said, that's noble of you. I want you here. I would love for you to, even if you're there working, if you had extra hours, to come here, because I know your style. I already know your essence, and we got along just fine. He even called me for extra security work when I was working at corrections. They had different clubs there, and they needed some guys, usually law enforcement, or some guys who had that kind of bearing about them, who knew the law, that certain things you can't do. And I was there. I remember there was a Greek, and I know I'm off topic. There was a Greek a club there, and they had this big Greek star. I couldn't tell you her name. It was a woman. But if you were Greek from Greece, man, she was like the Beyonce of Greece. That's what somebody even said, even back then. So there was a huge crowd there. Everybody was drunk. There's certain things you couldn't do. There's certain areas you couldn't bring your drinks in, certain areas you couldn't smoke. So there was another guy working there. His name was Lance. And I kept, every time I say, hey, Lance, what's going on? Hey, I'm all right, Lance. How you doing, Lance? We're having a ball. So he was standing in the area where you are not supposed to smoke. And there was this big Greek guy. This guy had to be 375. No lie. He wasn't 300 and he wasn't 400. He was more toward 400. Unbelievable. So he's talking to the guy, and he tried to use the intimidation of his size. He's a little taller than both of us, this Greek guy. But he looked like the kingpin. He was huge. His wrists looked like the size of my thighs. And my thighs are still pretty sizable. But anyway, he was talking to the guy, Lance. I saw how he shifted himself sideways and how he was clenching up his fist. I said, he's going to hit him. He's going to try to hit him. And so the other Lance was being very nice and, telling him what couldn't be done in a nice professional manner. And this guy was trying to amp it up. And this guy didn't want to hear it. Like, I'm going to smoke here. I'm going to drink in this part. I don't care what you say. And then he leaned his weight back. Now, mind you, he was drunk, so he was kind of broadcasting his movements. So he was going to take the big swing. He didn't know I was behind him. So I took my right arm, bent it, and just like the barrel of monkeys where they hook arms, as he brought his arm back, I got in his body and hooked my arm with him. And as he began to swing, that momentum that he was going to swing with, I pushed him back and he fell on his back and I jumped on him. I knew he was drunk. I jumped on him and like a wrestler spreads out when I was on his arms, everything. And all of his buddies, I don't know how I got to telling the story, but anyway, I'm going to finish telling it. All of his buddies jumped on me. There were like about 8 dudes on me and I had to breathe shallow, and this guy was mad. And I'm thinking, where's backup? The cops got there. They were on me for like maybe 90 seconds and squirming and trying to punch me. And the other security guys ran and they were fighting, keeping them off of me. But I'm under all of this weight. So when they finally got me off of him, he was ready to get up and take a swing at me. I pushed him back and he fell again. And everybody jumped on him. The cops got him. And so now here come the threats, because everybody that was involved in that melee had other people there that now I was the enemy, but it was almost time to go anyway. So my friend Lee that hired me, for the job as security and who got me there, he was like, Lance, just stay out of sight right now. We got the cops and everything. We don't know who's going to try to break a glass and shove. And I'm like, man, worth that little $125 for the night? But I've never been threatened so much by so many different people. But anyway, like I said, your personality, who you are, your light, all of that counts. And people can see that. Don't think that they're not people who are employers who can't see if you got a crappy attitude and you're trying to hide it. You know what I mean? That interview there, even he brags about it. He's like, I never had nobody come in here and just talk to me that way. You were professional, and then you warmed me up to you, and then we were talking. I was opening up, and we talked all kind of crazy stuff, right? And it's like we knew each other. He's like, you got the. I said, yeah, I know I got the job. But it's not always going to be that way. You see what I mean? But you keep yourself at the highest level, at the best that you can be. We're not going to always be, you're a little sick sometime or put a little weight away. It doesn't matter, but always strive to be aware of what you need to do to make yourself better. But we're talking about navigating unemployment, because that's not a good feeling. When the phone's not ringing, the bills are piling up and everything. Here's another one. Volunteer and network. Engage in volunteer work or community service to expand your network, gain new skills, and demonstrate your commitment to social responsibility. Volunteering can also boost your morale and a sense of purpose during challenging times. Of course, volunteer. Even when you have a job and have an income, is there something that you can do to get your foot in the door that people will know you? You might volunteer to work at the Goodwill on the weekend for 4 hours. Or you might say, listen, I want to volunteer to work here. If there's anybody that calls and they can't make it, I can't do this Monday through Friday or whatever hours you work, but I'll be glad to come on in, and I'm not charging. I want the experience and I want this on my resume, and do the best job that you can do. Guess what? It might be where you're out of work for 2 weeks and get a phone call from the Goodwill. Hey, listen, you haven't worked with us for a couple of weeks. We just want to know, I'll let you know we have a full-time position. See, you got to throw out good stuff to the universe, and it works. But if you stay caged away, it's going to keep your mind caged in, and guess what? All you're going to do is think negative because you have no flow. You have to have flow. The heart beats, and then it stops. It beats, and it closes up. You have to have that with the universe going on. Explore entrepreneurship. Consider entrepreneurship as an alternative career path by developing a business plan, seeking mentorship, and exploring funding options. There's a lot of funding out here, depending. Launching a startup or small business can offer independence and potential long-term success. I'll just say this. We have a lot of folks out here, especially us, who set up a business just to say, you got a business. All right, I got my own business. You still work at the job. That's where it's supposed to be. But it's not about bragging about having your own business. Anybody can set up. It's easy to set up the structure, but you working it, and take your time. Take your time. Understand that most businesses fail, but you put your mind, body, and soul into it, and really work it and make it a regular part of your life. You can do it. I mean, I've been on social media for many years, and I've established a name that you know. It's not like I'm a millionaire, but at least I have that trust from you. You see what I mean? Like, okay, we don't know him this way, or we heard things about him this way, that way, but we know at the core, this is what it is. And if I came back to America and I said, listen, I'm available for so-and-so, and somebody's over in Detroit and somebody else is in Dallas, or somebody said, well, Lance, if you want to come down here, I know this position, and you can highly recommend me because you know my work ethic. You know my work ethic. And that's transferable when you know a person's character. Do the volunteer work, do the entrepreneurship, do those things to reach out to people so they can know who you are, because people are more comfortable with recommending people that they know. Utilize online resources. Take advantage of online job boards, professional networking sites, and career resources to search for job openings, research companies, and build your professional brand. Serious, if you do a podcast, try to interview the owner of a company. You might be getting a job. There's so many ways other than the traditional ways. Listen, I know I've been on this earth for a little bit more than I was 20, 30 years ago, but I remember you get the Sunday paper, you look at the ads, and Monday morning you call the ads, and they will set up an appointment or a place where you can come down to fill out an application, and you have to set up an interview. Sometimes you get one that same day, sometimes you set it up. Calling ads. By the time today it gets in print, it's too late, because somebody who is in that company who found out about that job opening that they put in the paper already got it from the inside. You got to be in it to win it. You do these things, let me tell you something. It's not about a job just over broke. We know how that goes. It's really about entrepreneurship, but you'll have options where there's no gaps. While you put your foot as a stepping stool or a foothold, while you do your stuff on the side. A lot of us are not thinking that way anymore. Back in the 30s or 20s or 40s, black folks had all kind of hustles going on. When I say hustle, I don't mean something illegal, but they did several things with a smile on their face, always kept money in their pocket. There was a time in New York City when I was driving a dollar van, right? a commuter van, my own, pay my own taxes, everything. That I had other things that I did. I did not have a job for those 3.5 years, and I had more money than you can shake a stick at. I rebuilt the house, put three apartments in there, tenants, rolled that over, made that happen, made some dope apartments. It's a shame half the people didn't want to pay their rent, but I'm just saying, right? Hooked it up, had them cable, delivered the Sunday paper, left it in the common hallway. They got it, treated them good, did other things. I wasn't an electrician, but I had experimented and did recessed lights all over the house, right? I learned how to do that. It's simple, right? But it's electricity. So I learned certain things, God rest his soul, from Brother Lloyd Scarlett. That's the one that I had the rooftop when I was speaking to my helpers on the way. And anytime I needed him, he just popped up. Well, anyway, I learned that from him because he worked for the transit department. And he did electrical work, the third rail, and all the electrical stuff, crazy stuff. I would never do that job. You slip and fall, you're done. But the lady behind me, Gloria, she came by to see how different work was going on in the house. And she said, oh my God, I love those recess lights. The electrician was going to charge me X amount, whatever to do it. Could you do mine? I said, sure. I went over there one afternoon and I didn't charge him much at all. Because there were like 10 other people who wanted it done too, all over the city. And I was still driving the van. I was doing moving jobs. I was laying tiles. Madam Whip-Ass, who comes on the show and always has been, she's busy working a lot right now. Ask her about the tile job I did in her condo in Howard Beach when she had it there in Queens. She'll tell you the job I did. Anything I do, I'm going to do it good. There's things I'm learning here to do that I didn't know before. And you can run with it. It's inside of you. Believe in yourself, knowing yourself. Forget that. Forget believing. You got to know, because you don't believe a check is coming when you work for it, right? You know that check is coming, or you and that supervisor, you're going to have problems. Prioritize mental and physical health. Maintain a healthy lifestyle by exercising regularly, eating nutritious meals, getting enough sleep, and managing stress effectively. Prioritize self-care to sustain your well-being during challenging times, because you're going to need those resources. And that don't mean you have to be on some old get up in the morning and break an egg in a glass and play rocky music. And eating an egg like that is no good. You don't digest it all right? But keep yourself in the loop. Keep yourself with some physical and spiritual reserves. Absorb good, positive stuff. Too much of the stuff that's out here is negative. You see what I mean? It's just so negative. And we absorb that stuff, right? So keep yourself healthy, mind, body, spirit, soul, emotions. Tap into transferable skills. Identify and showcase transferable skills from your previous work experience that are applicable to diverse industries and roles, highlighting your adaptability, communication skills, and problem-solving abilities can attract potential employers. When they hire somebody, they don't want to hire nobody. They're going to spend hours with them and they're like, got no personality. It's not a popularity contest. You're supposed to do the job, but you got to be agreeable. You got to have a good vibe about you. They'll like it. Even if you don't know as much as the next candidate, they'll teach you a little more. You see what I mean? It's good that way. It's crazy how people don't do what they're supposed to do. Stay informed. Stay updated on economic trends, industry developments, and job market insights to make informed decisions about your career path. Subscribe to newsletters, follow industry experts on social media, and attend relevant events to stay informed. Maintain a growth mindset. Approach challenges with a growth mindset, viewing setbacks as opportunities for learning and personal development. Stay persistent, proactive, and optimistic about your potential to overcome adversity and achieve success. While navigating unemployment in a failing economy can be daunting, implementing these strategies can empower you to overcome obstacles, seize opportunities, and chart a path toward financial stability and personal fulfillment. Remember, resilience, resourcefulness, and a positive attitude are your greatest assets in uncertain times. Stay focused, stay motivated, and believe and know in your ability to thrive against all odds. You got here through a lot of stuff. I may not know all of your personal stories, but you know as well as I know, just like Ralph Crimmins, I know that you know that I know if you're black in this country called America, that you've been through some sugar honey iced tea. And you don't want to think about negative times, but you do want to think about negative times. You know why? Because you overcame those times. You overcame those times. And we all have something on us most of the time. It may not be as severe as the worst times that we've endured, but we might be going through stuff now. There's always something. So don't think you can't make it. But be prepared, be proactive, and always being ready. Let me tell you something. There's a young lady that I knew was a romantic, y'all. Okay. We're good friends. But she was not really a proactive type person. And she procrastinated a lot. And she had long periods of not working. And I told her honestly, I said, listen, when you get on these jobs, you got to be a little more assertive. And it's not like you just punch a clock and do X amount of work. You got to put a little more spirit into it. You're not tap dancing for massa. You're building your reputation because there may be a coworker that says, hey, I know somebody that can fill this position good and we work together and she is dynamic or he is dynamic. I got the perfect person for you. People love to recommend people they know, right? So she's like, well, I don't know where to look right now. And really things were tight at that time. This was a couple of decades ago. Well, I said, look at this. I said, you see that big bit of construction they're doing over there? I heard it's going to be a mall. I said, what are you telling me? Because, I'm a creative thinker, y'all. If I was a devious, bad, negative, evil person, if I was conniving and, doing people wrong and ripping them off or not, I'm not bragging about that. I'm just saying that I use my assets for the good. I said, well, they say it's going to be a mall. I'm going to research that for you, right? I researched it and found out many companies and retail outlets and restaurants and stuff that were going to be there. So she's like, it's not even built yet. I said, they're building it. They say it's going to be up in about 6 more months. They had it all boarded up so you can't see, but they had a little model that you see by the time spring of 1996 comes, this is what it's going to look like. And those are some of the things that I did when I worked for Paul Friedberg as an apprentice. I did those little models that you see that this is what it's going to look like. So, you use the board and, score it and bend it. And I'm precise with measurements. I like stuff like that you make the little trees and all that stuff. I like that. I'm going to do one for this. I'm going to do a model of my own house. This is what it looks like now. But anyway, she said, what are you telling me this for? I said, listen, you can go a town or two over and apply to any one of those companies that's going to be there in 6 months to 8 months or 9 months and maybe even a year. You're not doing anything now. You might get something before that. She had help, her mother, she was living with her mother. Mother was doing well, kind of spoiled her. But I said, do that. But that's a long commute. I don't want to drive that. I said, drive, you sitting down in the car, play some music, get on the phone, talk or whatever. But no, she didn't want to do that. But eventually she did. And she worked at a fast food joint that was affiliated with another retail outlet. Somehow the people that owned it, owned the clothing place. I never heard of that before, but you could own anything you want. And it was kind of high end. And so she ended up working at the fast food joint first and then in the retail with the clothing. And guess who they wanted to have open up the new store in the mall? Which, I don't like retail. That. I mean, I've done it. Worked at Home Depot, worked at a couple other places. But that's not, I'm not putting it down. That's a stepping stone, unless you make a career out of it, right? And you still got to have your own thing. But she did very well and she was proud of herself and she moved on. But out of that experience, she had more confidence in herself. And she's always thanking me. I'm like, don't thank me. I jump-started what was already inside of you. You just needed to see what it is that you had inside. Now, I haven't even looked at the daggone chat room because I'm looking at this beautiful sun go down. Right now, for me, it's 5:29. And just for the heck of it, I know people are working. It's hype in the day. Maybe somebody wanted to say something. So I'm going to drop the link here in the chat before I wrap it down. I don't have enough time to do an outside video. In 30 minutes, it's going to be pretty much dark. Like 40 minutes, it's going to be dark. It's not going to be black like it's midnight, but it's pretty much going to be dark. So I'll scratch that for tomorrow. So I'm not procrastinating. Maybe I'll write an article or do, like I said, with that little short thing that I wanted you to hear those clips on. If anybody wants to come on in, here's the link. It's in the chat room. Click it and speak your mind. And yes, on that banner, there's a rat. That's bad. What is that? Pizza they're eating? And there's a rat right there. That's not good. I'm not making fun of nobody, but you know, that's what it is. We can switch up on this one too, right? Made another one. I'm gonna give you all a few minutes, but yeah, life is a journey and there's always going to be challenges, but your mind, the mind is the greatest weapon. To have vision, to think ahead of time, to plan even when there's no threat over the horizon, to sharpen your sword for the time when you have to get ready to go into battle. That's what we do this for. You see what I mean? And navigating unemployment, being ahead of the game in this man-made engineered system, which is not natural. It is stressful. I understand that. But I've learned a few skills over the years, and even though I'm out here, you know, I mean, it's common sense also. You can read this out of an article in a magazine, a website, or whatever, but to internalize this way, we all know a lot of things, but how many of us implement those things that we know? A lot of us don't. A lot of us don't, and I think it's very sad. So if nobody's coming on in, let me acknowledge. I'm going to look at some of these comments. I've been running my mouth for a while, so let me go up to some of the older ones. And let me see. Let me see. Wow. Good conversation. Looks like we're going to have another witchcraft show, right? Yes, Riri, it's so true that when I go in private or get pulled to the side a lot because I was woke at an early age, so I started those witchcraft attacks. Their wisdom and knowledge. It helped me a lot. Raw Reality says, true that, Lance. Those Europeans see Africa as their personal playground where they can go and live out their erotic fantasy. Yes, yes, Gambia. Especially Gambia. I mean, it's all over. It's here in Ghana too, right? A lot of these white women pay these guys. But Gambia, I mean, I can Google something now just off the rift. I'm gonna put in white women, black men, sex in Gambia. Let's see what I pull up. How Gambia became a sex tourism hub for old white women. Oh man, British women are traveling to the Gambia for, it cuts the title off. Oh man. Oh, I pulled up a few porn sites too. Old white woman and black guy in Gambia. What is this? A TikTok video. Let's see what this is. Let's see what this is. How do we get to that from finances? But yeah, they use, let me see. Oh no. Oh no. I'm pulling up a whole lot. What? I didn't think it was that bad. Nah. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. There's one black guy hugged up, laying up in the bed with a lady that looked like Mama off the Addams Family. Remember Mama? Plunging her down. I'm not showing out of this show. Oh no. Hell no. No way, Jose. Anyway. Yeah, it's so much comments here, and I do have to run. But I'm glad it will be there after. But make sure to always go to the actual blog and drop some comments, because those will never be removed, because, you know, YouTube, when my name comes up, you know, that LANCESCURV, we got to watch him. He's going to say something and we're going to get him. There's the blog link right there. So drop a comment. I love seeing it there. It'll always be there for years to come, and I'll respond. If you comment, I'll respond to you directly there. I'm gonna wrap it down. The sun is going down. I got a few things. My throat's dry. I guess you can hear it too. Yeah, I'm gonna take care of that. So I take care of that, freshen up a little bit, get something to eat, and get back into creating something. But I wanted to go outside, and maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow's what? Today does not feel like Saturday. This feels like a weekday to me. But then again, every day feels the same after a while. I want to go out tomorrow for a little bit early. I mean, like from the crack of dawn, 6 o'clock. Get back early, do some stuff in the yard. But I want to get up early. And I had some workers come here earlier today. My voice is just going. And they were quick, but it threw me off because I was like, I don't want to go nowhere. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. I just want to say much love to you all. It's always a pleasure. I want to do it like this every day. There'll be some days in there because I still got some things to do, but you know, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to make it happen. And any topic you want to talk about, anything you want to shoot to me. I didn't see Tracy J. Oh, Tracy J, come on in. Talk to me,
Hello.
sister. How
Can
are
you hear
you?
me? I'm doing great.
Tracy in the comment section.
Okay. I had to come on and say a little something.
Of course.
I'm
Take it.
glad you did this topic.
I was writing it down because I thought, well, you're here. This is a shot of adrenaline. Let it hang out. Take your time.
Okay.
You know how I do.
I'm glad you did this topic because we were talking about this the other day. As far as the unemployment, I think
Yes.
we as a people need to rethink jobs, and we also need to rethink how we invest money and how we look at money and how we live. Um,
Yes.
I'm finding that more jobs now, there's no such thing as being on a job 20 and 30 years. Jobs don't want you on there working for them that long because they don't want to pay you the retirement or the pension or whatever they have for you. They don't want you
Tell
staying
me.
with them that long because I run into people that are being laid off after like 5 and 6 years. Like you're not even getting to the 10-year mark with some of these jobs. So I think that's creating a lot of poverty and a lot of setbacks for people because they're not able to be on a job long enough where they can invest and they could open up, certain accounts and they could, do their financial planning. So what I think we need to do as a people is just focus on making money on our own and get out of this system of working for
Yes.
other people because these jobs, they're not going to pay you what you're worth. They're never going to do that. And for you to get a real raise, you're going to have to move to another job. You're like literally going to have to find another job. So staying at these jobs for a long time, working for these people, they're not going to pay you. They don't even want you there in the first place. Some of you are pretty much satisfying a quota. Okay, we got one black person in this department. We ain't got to worry about it. So that's what your purpose is with some of these positions. But I
Yes.
just think we need to rethink the whole money thing. I mean, unemployment is just going to get worse. Look at AI. Look at inflation. These people are demanding this amount of money for working in the fast food. The company's just going to get rid of you and just going to perfect the AI so they can have machines working that job, so they don't have to pay you $20 an hour to do that job. I just think we need to focus on more ways to getting money on our own than to just keep focusing on these jobs because, like I said, the unemployment is going to get worse as these
Mm-hmm.
companies figure out how to eliminate more jobs to get AI to perform more of these jobs. There's not going to be another job for you to apply for and to go back to. You're just going to have to figure out have to learn how to figure out how to do things on your own. I think that needs to be the focus. Like the main three things that's to financial freedom and to wealth is real estate, investing, and entrepreneurship. Those are the three main paths to wealth and financial freedom. So we need to figure out how to tap into that.
Beautifully said. I had myself on mute. And I'm so glad I saw you. I was looking away from the screen. I was looking out the window. I was like, oh, the T. That one T with a little pink. Oh, I know it. It's Tracy. Tracy J. This man has shot up in the sky. If I see in the sky, I'm going to follow where that light's coming from because I know I'm going to find you there.
That's fine. I mean, but like I said, I just needed to say that. And then, like I said in the comments earlier, the dollar is weakening. It doesn't have the same spending power. So when these people tell you, make sure you get an investment, make sure you get a 401k, make sure you have $1 or $2 million by this time. That's not going to be the same. That's not going to have the same spending power as it does right now. And that's what we're not thinking about. What will $2 million look like 20 years from now? Because some of you are in your 20s and 30s. So when you retire 20, 30 years from now, what are you going to need? You're not going to just need $2 million. You're probably going to need $5 or $6 million for you to retire. And then they're raising the retirement age. I said in the comments, for my generation, our retirement age is 70. And then for Gen Z, that might be towards 75. Could you imagine being in your 20s knowing that you got to work 50 years before you can retire? Like, wouldn't that encourage you to start your own business or invest in real estate or do something? Because a job is not where it's at. One income is not going to save you. One income is gone. That is in the rearview mirror. We need to think about something else. We need to be thinking about how we could like live on our own, grow our own food without needing grocery stores. Just kind of minimize, just minimize how much you need the system. Just minimize how much you're in the system. So, I mean, I just needed to say that because, like I said, I'm trying to figure out now how to not have a job. I'm so serious.
That's right.
I'm trying to figure out different streams of income because, like I said, you know, in the comments, one income is not enough. And if you do have a savings account, inflation and AI is going to eat your savings account up because you just have money sitting there and it's losing value every single day. So we need to figure out how to do things on our own. And we may not be able to retire in America. That's fine. Start researching now what country you want to go to. It may not be a country in the motherland, but find out what country you could go to where you can live comfortable. Because it may not be America. And if it is America, what state can you move to where you can live comfortable? You may not be able to retire in your city. So that's another thing to think about too.
Wow. You said it. You said it. I found those clips. I'm going to play those now. You can stay on if you want. I'm just going to play this right now.
Okay.
This is so fun. I'm going to play the white lady first because the black lady stole the show. Hold on.
A woman with no friends.
Hold on. Whoa. Okay.
Post your brother.
Dollar Tree closing 600 stores this year. CVS closing 900 stores through the end of this year. It's closing 150 stores. Outback Steakhouse has already closed 40 of its restaurants. UPS is cutting 12,000 jobs in 2024. Citigroup cutting 20,000 positions as well. eBay, why not? 1,000 jobs lost there. Microsoft cutting 1,900 positions. Expedia cutting 1,500. Cisco cutting 4,000. Apple cutting 600. It's entertainment too. Regal Cinemas closing 429 locations. Kroger's grocery store chain shutting down 413 stores. It's not affordable to be in retail anymore. Foot Locker closing 400 stores by 2026. Macy's will close 150 locations by 2026. Walmart already this year closed 6 of its supercenters. While the U.S. Senate has passed nearly $100 billion to send to other countries that Joe Biden just signed yesterday, most can't even find Ukraine or Israel on a freaking map, let alone Taiwan. We're paying money that we don't have. Our economy goes down the toilet and American jobs die. Of course, we know we're going to ban TikTok so nobody can talk about it freely. Dollar Tree.
Yes. Why don't we hear that on the news? What's the big secret?
That's just
There's
the beginning.
That I want to play. Let me know if you can hear it. I'm going to hit this. This lady was comical. I had to share this one.
This, you know what I noticed, y'all, and I'm gonna tell you, I don't really think like this, you know, but listen to this here. A lot of people, they say they think when they get older, they're gonna be settling down and things gonna be wonderful. They're gonna be peaceful. But let me tell y'all this here, this must be a new day, because guess what, y'all? People my age is still trying to make it. They still trying to figure out how they're gonna make ends meet. A lot of people still got their own homes, but they got to worry about the taxes. Some older people, they got to worry about how they're going to pay their utility bills. Some of those Social Security checks, Ain't enough. And a lot of times people really think that when I get older, when I get Social Security, when I be able to do it, you better get yourself together now for when you get older. Cause people think that when they get y'all just don't have no idea. The young people don't have no idea. They think that when they get older, they're gonna be settling down. And look, I know people that people still. I know a woman right now, y'all, in her 70s, still trying to find love. Still trying to find somebody to say, baby, I love you. In her 70s, y'all. That's why I said, I can't do all that, y'all. I can't be worrying about finding somebody to love me at my age, y'all. Just nope. That's why I be saying, y'all, you got to get your life together now for when you get older. Figure out some kind of plan, y'all, that y'all can do when you get older, that you won't have to go through a lot of struggles that a lot of older people are going through. And a lot of older people think they happy, a lot of them, their bodies, they have problems with their bodies now. So when they're younger, they're worried about how they're going to take care of the kids, how they're going to feed the husband, how they're going to do the wife, how they're going to do this. Look, when you're young, but when you get older, let me tell you this here, there's still going to be something. So just try to do whatever you can do while you're young to make your life as peaceful as you can when you get my age. And when you get older, when you get, people, look, I'm warning you now, don't say I ain't tell you. Don't say I did not tell you. So while you're young, plan for it when you get older and get a plan that you can stick to that's going to work when you get older. Because you'd be surprised at the people. I'm shocked myself, y'all. I'm shocked myself when I see how a lot of elderly people is really, they're struggling. They're struggling. And every time you look, something going up. Now, inflation has ate up a whole lot of people's Social Security check, y'all. A whole lot of people, Social Security check, it can't pay everything. And they just struggle, and everything is wait till my check come. Everything they try to do, I gotta wait for my check. When I get my check, I can't wait my check come. That's their whole life. What you do, girl? I'm trying to do such and such, but I gotta wait for my check. When my check comes, that's what I'm gonna do. When I get my check. So look, y'all, I'm telling you now, prepare yourself now for later, and make sure you get a plan, and more than Social Security. Make sure you get other checks when you get older, not just Social Security and a pension. No, y'all talking about, well, I got my pension. Some people get a pension and still ain't enough, y'all. So I'm telling you, if you got a business or something, get some kind of plan. I'm trying to tell you where your money can continue to come in. Get like 5 different, things, money streams coming in. So when you get older, you might have a little better, money thing coming through. Because inflation eating up checks like crazy, y'all. Talk to you later on the next video.
Yep.
That's exactly what I just said. Inflation, and the inflation is going to continue to eat up the check.
I got it in-house. Got Tracy J to tell it.
Inflation will continue to eat up your check. That's why I said you people trying to retire with $1 or $2 million, and that's now. If you're retiring now, that's now. 20, 30 years, that might be $5 million. But people don't want to count inflation. No one ever counts inflation.
That's right. That's right.
But she's right. 5 or 6. She's right. You need multiple streams of income. You need to get more than and these jobs now, like I said earlier, you're not on these jobs 20, 30 years to get that pension. So what are you going to do with that? Right.
And the spending power of it will not be amplified and brought up to par with, it's just crazy. Then you got mortgages going up, rents going up, all this stuff. It makes no sense.
Oh, this will be a good video for you to drop the link for the calculator.
Oh, I gotta find it. I'll put it in the description area.
It's in, I think I sent it to you in WhatsApp. But yeah, you can put it on this so people can kind of play around with. Do what?
You have it available right now by you?
Hold on for a second. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, I just pulled it up. So with this calculator, you could pretty much convert it to from this year or whatever, from 2023 all the way back to whatever year you want to see, like how the value of the dollar has went down. So let's say 1975. And let's do 2023. That's the Okay. Let me see. So in 1975, $35,313 will spend the same as $200,000 was spent last year in 2023. So in 1975, $35,313 spent like $200,000 today. So that means you got to make at least $200,000 today. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Drop that link in the chat if you have it on your phone. I don't know. No, but I'll put it. Just send it to me again.
Okay.
But if you
I'll
have
send it to you again. I can send it to you again.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that, I mean, and it's so sad that, you know, when people, you know, you hear people say, well, when I was growing up back in the day, I was able to send my kids to college. I was able to, you know, pay for my home. I was able to do this and do that with $30,000 or $40,000. Well, it doesn't spend the same, because today you only needed $30,000, $40,000 back then. I need $200,000 today. And how many people make 200? I mean, how many people make $100,000 a year?
Right. And it sounds
Most
good because
people just work one job.
It's not really $100,000 the way we thought about it when back in the day.
Right. Right.
That's about where 30-something thousand dollars was the equivalent of 150 today.
Yes,
from back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. And no one who makes that? Who makes that kind of money though? Is what
and it's spent out usually, you know, and hopefully when you do something with it, you know, because this thing it's like there's a magic spell over the US and parts of the world. As soon as you get your money, it's like there's always something extra to pull something out. If you get we just don't get surprise checks. We kind of forget that I did some work for somebody that's going to come. And as soon as that check comes, it'll be a check for $1,500. Then you're going to get a bill for $1,520. That's crazy. Like somebody has a magic formula, and just to keep you a certain way. And then we do it to ourselves. We overspend on crazy things and, you know. Wow. Yeah, Tracy, I want us to do a show where we go in depth, really, really in depth. And we've done that before, but I want you to really go in. Even to the point, don't be afraid of going over anybody's head, because people can research things that they just can't make, you know, go deep. We're smart over here. There may be some things, don't hold back. Just boom, this is what it is. Research this, boom, boom, boom. We got to get a better understanding, but more so than anything else, the discipline, execute these plans, because this system is against us. I'm not saying this like, oh, just as a black man or woman. It's against your pocket. It's like the gnats that see a ripe fruit and it just never stop. Flies and stuff, they're going to get that fruit as soon as it's ripe. Well, as soon as you get your money, if you don't do something with it, it's just going to dissipate and it won't be any good to you. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it down. Thank you so much, Tracy, for coming on in. And I'm going to wrap this down. You might be on mute, so just know I'm going to let Michael George's comment go up before we go. Inflation is manipulation, because there's no such thing as poverty on this, because it's these energy thieves hiding in this planet, because the prime creator did not make no junk. Exactly. Thank you, Michael George. That was a perfect ending statement to truth. In the man-made engineered system, we're bound to be failing. I'm not saying that, you know, we're gonna fail or whatever, but in nature's system, the creative system, we all thrive. And that's why we should move more toward that and trying to get out. Even if you don't come out completely, you know, get out of it a little bit. And everybody cannot do it right away. I understand that. So I'm not saying that because I'm here and you should all know. It may be where you stay, but have that mindset. You know, instead of investing of something in the city, get some land out in the country, way out. And you can keep your apartment. and work and make your money and slowly build something, even if you don't leave America. I'm not going to just advocate, that they're just up and leave. We have family, we have loved ones, we have people that need care, that depend on us. I'm very open-minded that way. Everybody's situation is different, but there are certain principles that we all need here to make ourselves better, where we can stretch our money for the betterment of ourselves, as opposed to a greedy corporation, company, government that doesn't give a damn about us and doesn't want to give us anything if we're out on the curb. That being said, I'm going to sign off. I'll be back later on with something shorter or longer. Who knows? I'm going to recuperate this throat, this voice of mine, and then we're going to come on back. But do know that I love you all. Take care. Thank you all for being here. And it's been just a blast for me, just like the good old days, because the good old days are here right now. Don't let anybody lie and tell you something different. All right? Peace.
Make sure to go to LANCESCURV.com, an online magazine established in 2001, containing written articles, thousands of talk shows and discussions, cutting-edge cartoons, as well as erotic expressions and tasteful adult photography. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. Once you get a taste of the world of LANCESCURV, trust me, you'll be back for more. LANCESCURV.com. Bold, raw, and uncut.